forgetting how slow it is to walk through sand. This is why I hate sand trails. Anyway, I'm trying to increase my speed a bit so that I can get off the trail before I run out of water. And I'm pretty much just about out of water. And I still have about 10.5 miles left. It's gonna be a long day, but normally I would say, oh, that's about 3 hours more of hiking. But with the sand, I'm lucky if I'm going 2 miles an hour right now. So it's probably another 5 hours, which is not ideal. Anyhow, my back is super sweaty, so I know it's gonna have a bunch of sand stuck to it when I get out, but oh well. I just hit some sort of road, which I definitely was not expecting. And also, with it being this far out, it seems as though it'll probably just be the road the entire way back, because obviously cars have to get in here somehow, so. It sucks because, you know, the trail won't look quite as nice, but it's also very nice that it will not be as loose of sand, because cars have to be able to ride on it, so I am looking forward to that. Well, this is out of nowhere. Well, I don't know. I get nosebleeds easily in drier climates, but I'm gonna add this to my likely parts of dehydration. It's just the inside of my nose is getting pretty dry, so it's not great. It's a good thing I'm working to get off today. Okay, I'm hopefully only about 5.5 miles from the trailhead now. I'm a bit disappointed with the map that I've been following on all trails for this time. The mile distances are very off. By my calculations just from this morning, I should be at the trailhead right now. So I unfortunately don't know how long I have, but I do know I have about 2 hours left of daylight, so. I'm just stopping for a quick 2-minute sit and just get my pack off because my neck is killing me. And maybe this will be quick, hopefully. Guys, I am quite dehydrated. I don't know if you can see my lips, but I know I needed to push, but it's just making me so tired, and I know this is better than being stuck out there without water, because I'm about 4 miles away from some water. Man, I do not like this. I am very dehydrated. I hopefully have less than 2 miles. We'll see. Again, it's hard to say. I'm starting to feel pretty sick. I need to keep going. I just need to keep going. Okay. I know you probably can't see my face, but I just made it to where I can see my car. Oh my God. I've never been this dehydrated on a trail. Yeah, I got lost there for a little bit in the dark, which just made me beyond anxious to know that I didn't have the option to just set up camp if I wanted to, because I needed to get to water. And, oh my God, I'm glad to be back. water, and now I feel a little bit sick, but that's fine with me. I am going to give you guys a review of this trail and some tips to avoid what happened for me, but just not right this moment. So it'll be a nice cutscene from my dehydrated, cracked-lipped, raw throat sound me, to me, hopefully in better spirits, telling you about the trail. So okay, the Dark Canyon Wilderness Loop. There's a lot to unpack here, so I'm going to do my best to be brief and concise and tell you guys everything you need to know so that you do not have a dehydrated experience like I did, and so that you can enjoy the loop to its fullest potential. When I first started on the loop, I knew that water would be scarce, and so I brought extra water with me. And because I didn't know exactly where I would find water, I started conserving water early on. So my very first night, I did not drink very much water. The following day, I slowly drank through my water. So by the time I finally found water in the second video, I had 3 liters of water between those 2 days, which anyone backpacking or hiking will tell you that is not enough water. So I knew I was being careful with how much I was having to begin with, but unfortunately probably too careful by the time I found water. If I had had more during the day, I could have filled up more, and I would not have been as dehydrated going into it. But again, you don't know what you don't know. You have no idea where water will be, and so I'm happy with the decision I made for that. By the time I went to bed that night, I had just over 2 liters of water, and when I woke up and filtered all my water, I ended up with a total of 2 liters of water for that full day. So when I notified you all in the video that I had about 1 liter of water left, I'd had 1 liter of water so far that day, making that entire day of over 26 miles sand hiking with a total of 2 liters of water, which is why I ended up being so dehydrated, as you saw by the end of the video. Near the end of that day, I did technically find 2 more sources of water. First one was absolutely covered in cow manure. It was caked on the sides and across the top. Even if I was going to stop and take the time to boil it and filter it, the fear of what I could get sick with trumped my thirst. So I continued on. The second source of water I found was very small, and I would have taken from it, but unfortunately there was a dead cow laying next to it. Not knowing what killed the cow did not sit well with me, but more than that, not knowing how long it had been dead and what then got into the water source was also troubling to me. So again, I did not take water from that. If either of those 2 things hadn't happened, I would have, had water along. It would not have been as terrible of a trail with as far as water. A word of caution with all trails: if you're using that to follow along, just be aware that the miles on signs, and potentially if you have a Garmin or with your watch tracking you, does not match the all trails distance very well. Overall, I think if you carry enough water and you're careful with the water sources you do find, it is a trail worth doing. Just be very aware that the water is limited. Aside from the water, just a basic review of the trail. It is, as you can see, it was an absolutely beautiful trail. Every time you turned, there was a new part of the canyon you were looking at, and the colors were amazing. The flora along the way was unique and diverse, and I saw a few bugs there that I'd never seen before, which I like seeing that. A big part of the trail is going down into the riverbed repeatedly, and since the rocks are so uneven during that, it is a little bit tiring on your knees and hips and back. But overall, the elevation change isn't too drastic. Right coming out of the waterbed or riverbed is usually up a little bit and then goes down a little bit into it, but when you're not doing that, it's pretty even elevation. I think it's just the distance and the lack of water that would make it a hard loop, but otherwise, besides that, I'd say it's a pretty moderate loop. The ruins were really cool to see as well. When I found the first one, it was early in the day, and I didn't want to set up camp, well before noon, so I just did that short little hike out to it and then continued on the trail. And I wish I had just set up camp and given up a full day searching that whole area and seeing if I could find anything else, because I unfortunately did not see anything after that, which was one thing that, as I told you in my 3 goals, was something I was looking forward to. So I would suggest maybe just having a short day on your second day, or having a long first day if you get there earlier than I did. Like I told you, I got there at like 7 at night. You could probably make it in on your first day and then spend your whole morning exploring that area and seeing if you can find other ruins and other rock art, artifacts, anything else that might be out there. Something else to note about the trail was that I did not see a single person the entire time I was out there from start to finish. So if you're looking for something a bit more secluded and backcountry, this would definitely be an option for you. Also, I can officially tell you that the next video will be our announcement video, so make sure you are watching for that. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our video. We've got a lot coming up very soon, and it's really exciting, so make sure you watch out for that. If you have more questions about the Dark Canyon Wilderness Loop, please comment below. I will do my best to get back to you. Yeah, thanks for watching.